Hey there. Have you ever stood in front of your medicine cabinet, staring at a handful of pill bottles, and wondered if you're doing this whole medication thing right? Maybe you've caught yourself thinking, did I take that already, or is this supposed to be with food or without? If that sounds familiar, you're not alone. As we get into our 60s and beyond, keeping track of meds can feel like a part-time job, one we didn't sign up for. But here's the good news. It doesn't have to be overwhelming. Today, we're going to walk through a simple guide to using your medication safely and properly, so you can feel confident and in control instead of stressed or confused. This stuff matters more than you might think. Our bodies change as we age. Maybe your kidneys aren't as quick as they used to, or your stomach's a little pickier about what you put in it. Medications that worked fine 20 years ago might need a second look now. And with doctors sometimes prescribing a few different things, it's easy to get mixed up. But when you know how to handle them right, those pills can do their job, keeping you feeling good, without any extra hassle. In this video, we're going to cover some practical, down-to-earth tips to make sure you're taking your meds the smart way. Things like understanding what you're taking, timing it right, and keeping everything organized. Let's jump in with the first step, because it's the foundation for everything else. The first thing to get a handle on is knowing exactly what each medication is for. I'm not talking about memorizing a medical textbook, just the basics. Think about my friend Joan, who's 68. She was taking a bunch of pills every day, and one morning she realized she wasn't even sure why she was popping half of them. So, she sat down with her doctor and went through the list. Turns out, one was for blood pressure, another for cholesterol, and a third was something she didn't even need anymore. It was from an old prescription that never got updated. She told me it was like cleaning out a cluttered drawer. Once she knew what was what, she felt so much lighter. You can do the same thing. Next time you're at the doctor, or even the pharmacy, ask them to walk you through each one. What's it for? How's it helping you? Write it down if you need to, in your own words, like, blue pill for heart or white one for joints. It's not about being fancy, it's about knowing what's going into your body so you're not just swallowing pills on autopilot. Once you've got that clear, the next piece is making sure you're taking them at the right time. This one's a biggie, because timing can make all the difference. Some meds need food to work properly, while others can upset your stomach if you're not careful. I remember my neighbor Bill, who's 72. He was taking his blood pressure pill first thing in the morning with a big glass of orange juice. Sounds healthy, right? But he kept feeling woozy, and it turned out the juice was messing with how the pill worked. His pharmacist told him to switch to water and take it a little later, after breakfast, and boom, no more dizzy spells. Little tweaks like that can change everything. So, check the label or ask your pharmacist, does this need food? Should it be morning or night? If it says, twice a day, does that mean every 12 hours, or just whenever you remember? Getting this dialed in means your meds are working with you, not against you, and that's a win worth having. And while we're on the subject of getting it right, let's talk about keeping things organized, because life's too short to be digging through a pile of bottles every day. You don't need anything complicated, just a system that works for you. My cousin Ruth, she's 65, and she swears by those weekly pill organizers, you know, the ones with little boxes for each day. She spends 10 minutes on Sunday sorting everything out, and then she's set for the week. No more second guessing if she took her Thursday dose or not. If that's not your style, even a simple note on the fridge can do the trick, something like, pink pill at breakfast, yellow at dinner. The point is, when it's organized, it's one less thing to worry about. And if you're traveling or out and about, toss a day's worth in a little container so you're not hauling around a whole pharmacy. It's practical, it's easy, and it keeps you on track. So, we've got the basics down, knowing what your meds are for, timing them right, and keeping them organized. That's a solid start, and it's already going to make a difference. But there's more to this, like figuring out what to do when things feel off or how to talk to your doctor about it. Let's keep the conversation going and dive into that next. So, we've been chatting about how to get a good grip on your medications, knowing what they're for, timing them right, and keeping everything nice and organized. Those steps alone can take a lot of the guesswork out of the daily routine, and I bet you're already feeling like this could be doable. But life isn't always as simple as popping a pill and calling it a day, is it? Sometimes your body throws you a curveball, or you start wondering if everything's working the way it should. That's where the next part comes in, paying attention to how you feel and knowing what to do about it. Let's start with this: your body's got a way of talking to you, even if it's not always loud and clear. Maybe you've been taking something for a while, and suddenly you're feeling more tired than usual, or your stomach's grumbling in a way it didn't before. That's not something to brush off. I think about my friend Clara, who's 70. She started a new medication for her arthritis, and it was supposed to be a big help. But a couple of weeks in, she noticed her hands were shaky, and she felt jittery, like she'd had too much coffee, even though she hadn't. At first, she thought it was just her getting older, but then she mentioned it to her doctor. Turns out, it was a side effect, and they switched her to something else that worked without the jitters. The lesson? If something feels off, don't ignore it. Jot down what you're noticing, when it happens, how it feels, and bring it up with your doctor or pharmacist. They can tell you if it's normal or if it's time for a tweak. You're not bothering them, it's their job to help you get this right. And that brings us to another key piece: talking to your doctor like it's a two-way street. I know it's easy to nod along at appointments and then walk out wondering what just happened. But you've got every right to ask questions, and it can make a huge difference. Take my neighbor Sam, who's 67. He was on a pill for his cholesterol, but he kept getting muscle aches that made it hard to enjoy his morning walks. He didn't say anything for months because he figured it was no big deal. Finally, he asked his doctor, could this be from the medicine, and sure enough, it was. They adjusted the dose, and Sam's back to strolling the neighborhood, feeling like himself again. The trick is keeping it simple. Say something like, I've been feeling this, could it be the meds, or is there another option that might work better? Doctors aren't mind readers, and they need your input to get it right. Plus, when you speak up, you're taking charge of your own health, and that feels pretty good. Now, while we're on the topic of feeling good, let's talk about something that ties all this together: sticking with it consistently. It's one thing to know what to take and when, but actually doing it day in and day out can trip anyone up. Life gets busy, or maybe you're traveling, and suddenly you're wondering if you missed a dose. That's where a little habit building comes in handy. My cousin Ed, he's 69, and he's got this trick: he keeps his pill organizer right next to his coffee maker. Every morning, while the coffee's brewing, he takes his meds. It's just part of the routine now, like brushing his teeth. You can find your own rhythm, maybe it's with breakfast, or right before bed. If you're someone who forgets, set a little alarm on your phone with a friendly beep to remind you. It's not about being perfect, it's about making it easy on yourself. And if you do miss a dose, don't panic, just check the label or call your pharmacist to see what's next. They'll tell you whether to skip it or catch up, no fuss. So, we've covered listening to your body, speaking up to your doctor, and building a routine that sticks. These are the kinds of things that turn medication from a hassle into something that works for you. But there's still more to think about, like how to handle all those bottles and refills without losing your mind. Let's roll into that next and keep this going. Alright, we've been having a good chat about making sense of your medications, listening to how your body feels, talking openly with your doctor, and setting up a routine that keeps you on track. By now, you're probably seeing how these little steps can add up to a lot less stress and a lot more confidence. But there's another piece to this puzzle that can really tie it all together, especially when you're juggling a few different prescriptions. Let's talk about managing those bottles, refills, and all the practical stuff that comes with it, because nobody wants to be caught off guard with an empty pill bottle on a Sunday night. One thing that can make life so much easier is staying ahead of your refills. I know it's tempting to wait until you're down to the last couple of pills, but that's when things get dicey, pharmacies can be busy, or maybe your doctor needs to approve something. My friend Helen, she's 71, learned this the hard way. She ran out of her blood pressure meds once because she figured she'd just swing by the pharmacy whenever. But it was a weekend, and her prescription needed a refill approval from her doctor, who wasn't in until Monday. She spent 2 days worrying, and that's no way to live. After that, she started a new habit, checking her bottles about a week before they'd run out. Now, she calls the pharmacy or sets up automatic refills, and it's smooth sailing. You can do something like that too. Take a peek at your stash every few weeks, maybe when you're sorting your pills for the week, and see what's getting low. If your pharmacy offers auto refills or even delivery, give it a try. It's like having someone else keep an eye on things for you, and it takes that last-minute scramble out of the equation. Plus, it feels good to know you're covered, doesn't it? And while we're on the subject of keeping things under control, let's talk about what to do with all those bottles so they don't take over your kitchen counter. It's amazing how fast they pile up, isn't it? My neighbor Pat, who's 68, had a drawer full of old meds, half-used bottles, and stuff she wasn't even taking anymore. It was a mess, and she couldn't find what she needed when she needed it. So, she did a little cleanup. She grabbed a shoebox, put all her current meds in it, and labeled it with a marker. The old stuff? She took it to the pharmacy to get rid of safely. Now, everything's in one spot, and she's not digging through chaos every morning. You don't need anything fancy, a basket, a box, even a shelf works. Just pick a place and keep your active meds there. And those extras you don't need anymore? Don't toss them in the trash. Most pharmacies have drop-off spots to dispose of them properly. It's a small thing, but it clears the clutter and keeps you safe. Now, here's the last piece I want to share today, and it's a big one: knowing how to spot trouble and act fast. Sometimes, even when you're doing everything right, something can go off the rails. Maybe you take a dose and feel funny, or you accidentally mix up your pills. It happens to the best of us. I think about my cousin Lou, who's 66. He grabbed the wrong bottle one morning, same size, same color, and took a double dose of something by mistake. He started feeling woozy, and thank goodness he knew what to do. He called his pharmacist right away, explained what happened, and they told him to sit tight, drink some water, and call his doctor if it got worse. He was fine, but it shook him up. The trick is not to panic. Stay calm and reach out for help. Keep your pharmacist's number handy, or even the little card that comes with your meds. If it's serious, like trouble breathing or a racing heart, don't wait, call 911. But most of the time, a quick phone call can sort it out, and you'll be back on track. So, we've walked through keeping your refills lined up, organizing your stash, and handling those oops moments with a cool head. It's all about making this part of your life work for you, not against you. And when you put it all together, knowing your meds, timing them right, staying consistent, and managing the details, you're not just taking pills, you're taking care of yourself. That's what this is all about, right? Feeling good and living your days the way you want. I'd love to hear from you. What's your trick for keeping this stuff straight? Drop it in the comments below. If this has been helpful, give the video a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. We've got more coming to help you thrive at any age. Here's to staying strong and steady. See you next time.